This is the Chester County Real Estate Podcast, bringing you the info you need to make your next move a great one. This show is brought to you by RE/MAX Ace Realty. For show notes and links, go to acerealtypa.com/podcast.
Hey guys, Sean here, and this is the Chester County Real Estate Podcast, the show that brings you the information you need to make your next move a great one. Today, on this brief episode, I want to talk about ways that you can prepare to buy a house if you're thinking of moving anytime soon in the near future. So there's a couple steps that you can start taking now if you're thinking that you might be moving. The first thing that I recommend is know where you are financially. Now, it's going to help if you have an accountant, a financial advisor, or something like that, because you're going to need to know the available funds that you have to either put into the closing costs, the down payment, or just into the house after you move. So I also recommend talking to a lender at this point. A lender is going to be able to tell you whether or not you can qualify for a loan or for a mortgage in order to buy a house. And there's going to be several things that they're going to look at and criteria you're going to need to know. But at this point in the game, you're going to want to make sure you have a decent credit score, at least high enough to get a loan. You're going to want to look at your income and your debts, so know how much money's coming in, how much money's going out. And then, like I said, your available funds, the money that you have available to you that you can either put down on a house or spend on the house or put towards closing. Those are some numbers that you're going to need to know. That's why I recommend at this point, you're going to want to talk to a lender. They're going to be able to kind of go through that with you and help you decide what you can qualify for and what you can comfortably afford. If you also have a house to sell, you're going to want to also talk to a listing agent at this point, and you're going to need a CMA. So CMA is an acronym for comparative market analysis. Basically, a real estate agent is going to look at everything that's sold recently in the area that's comparable to your home, and give you an idea of what your house could sell for. That's going to give you a general idea of how much equity you have in the house and how much you could get when you sell your house. The second thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to know your priorities. So I usually, when I'm working with a buyer, I ask them, why are they buying a house? And I recommend that they actually write this down. So not only your reasons for buying a house, but also why that reason is important to you. Now, there might be several reasons, there might be a couple, but I try to narrow down on the main core thing, the main core reason that they're going to want to buy this house. Some agents phrase it on what would you need to, what would be your goal to make this a level 10 experience? So your core reason isn't just, I need a bigger house. The core reason might be, my household is growing. There's going to be more people in my household. I want to make sure that there's more room for them to do activities, or I'm going to need a home office, or I'm going to need more bedrooms. Maybe you want a shorter commute. Well, that's great, but the reason why you want a shorter commute could vary from buyer to buyer. So one buyer might want a shorter commute because he wants to have more time with his family. Another buyer might want a shorter commute because he wants to save on fuel costs and commuting costs. Not only do you want the reason for why you're buying, but the importance of that reason. Once you have that down, now you can work backwards and you can kind of ask yourself, what features would you need to accomplish that goal to fulfill that reason? So if you're looking for a shorter commute, well, are you set on driving, or is taking the train or a bus a possibility? So that's going to change up your commute a little bit, but maybe because you're not actually behind the wheel, you're okay with it. So depending on the reasons why you want a shorter commute, that would change the reasons for what features you would need when you're looking in an area to achieve that goal. So think about the different features you would need to accomplish that. I know one buyer who just recently started working from home and working more remote, but it was kind of difficult going from a bedroom to going from an office to working out of a bedroom. So they needed not only a bigger house with more bedrooms, but they needed a separate space from the main living area so that he could comfortably work. So that's a little bit different than just needing a bigger house. That's actually needing something specific, because his core reason was so they could effectively work from home in a much more productive way. So know your priorities. The third thing that you're going to want to do in order to prepare for buying a house is talk to a local real estate agent. So I stress the local part because you're really going to want to work with an agent who knows the area and now knows what your priorities are. So an agent who will be able to take your priorities, your core reason for buying and your main goal in buying, and start applying it to things that on what you should look for and where you should look in order to accomplish that from within your budget and within your financial situation. So maybe there is something that you can be a little bit more flexible on, or maybe an agent can help show you if you're flexible on this, then that's going to help you accomplish that. For example, if your main goal is a bigger house, well, maybe if you look a mile or two outside of the area that you were originally looking, you could actually increase your buying power and you can get a much bigger house. If you're clear on your priorities and what your goal is, you can make those concessions and still feel like you made a very confident and good decision. You know, no home is perfect, and honestly, no one is able to get everything they want. So the perfect house doesn't exist. The question is where are you willing to concede in order to get the best house for your situation? And a local agent can help you with that. If you want to talk to any of the agents here, you can feel free to find us online at acerealtypa.com. If you have any questions or comments about this, feel free to reach out to me, Sean Dominski. But if you've gotten anything from this or found this helpful at all, I really encourage you to please like and subscribe. This show is found on YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere podcasts are found. I really appreciate it. So if you do that, I'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening. This has been the Chester County Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by RE/MAX Ace Realty, serving buyers and sellers in the Chester County area. Subscribe for new episodes at acerealtypa.com/podcast. And you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever podcasts are found.
This episode is brought to you by RE/MAX Ace Realty in Downingtown, PA. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, we have a real estate expert for you. Search for homes or contact an agent at acerealtypa.com.